Welcome back to the channel The Coin Empire. Today we are diving into one of the most unbelievable modern coin stories ever discussed in the world of rare American nickels, the mysterious and legendary 2006 P5 USA coin that some collectors believe could be worth an astonishing $90 million because of rare minting errors, impossible production mistakes, hidden varieties, and mysterious characteristics that continue to shock the coin collecting world even years after it first entered circulation. Most people never pay attention to the small change sitting inside their pockets, jars, drawers, cars, or old piggy banks, but sometimes a single ordinary-looking nickel can become one of the most valuable coins on earth because of tiny details that only experienced collectors notice. The 2006 P Jefferson nickel may appear normal at first glance, but there are stories circulating among collectors and error hunters about examples that display extraordinary flaws created during the minting process at the Philadelphia Mint, and these rare mistakes can completely transform a common 5-cent coin into a once-in-a-lifetime collectible treasure. The modern Jefferson Nickels series has always attracted attention from collectors because of the wide variety of possible minting errors that can occur during production, including double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, wrong planchet errors, die cracks, cut errors, lamination flaws, weak strikes, rotated dies, missing clad layers, and even dramatic multi-strike mistakes. When several rare features appear together on a single coin, collectors begin to treat that piece as a legendary discovery capable of reaching unimaginable values. Some coin experts believe that the mythical $90 million valuation attached to a rare 2006 P nickel comes from the possibility of a perfect storm of minting accidents combined with flawless preservation and historical uniqueness. Imagine finding a nickel that somehow escaped the mint with a dramatic double strike, a full steps designation on Monticello, an off-metal composition error, and evidence of a double die on both the obverse and reverse. A coin with that combination would be nearly impossible to duplicate, and rarity is the fuel that drives coin values into the stratosphere. One of the most talked about possibilities involving the 2006 P nickel is the double die error, where portions of the design appear doubled because the coin die itself received a misaligned impression during the manufacturing process. On some examples, collectors claim to see doubling in the lettering of Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and even Jefferson's profile. Strong doubling is considered highly desirable because it represents a mistake created before the coins were even struck, making every coin produced from that defective die potentially collectible. Another incredible error possibility is the off-center strike, where the blank planchet fails to align properly inside the striking chamber, causing part of the design to be missing while the remaining image appears shifted dramatically toward one side. Off-center coins are extremely popular among collectors because the visual appearance is so dramatic and easy to recognize. If a 2006 P nickel were discovered with a major off-center strike while still retaining the visible date and mint mark, it could become one of the most famous nickels of the modern era. Then there are broad strike errors, where the retaining collar fails during striking, allowing the metal to spread outward unnaturally. These coins appear wider and flatter than normal nickels and often show distorted rims. Collectors love broad strikes because they clearly demonstrate the power of the minting press and the chaos that can occur during high-speed coin production. Another rare and fascinating mistake involves clipped planchets, where part of the metal blank is missing before the coin is struck. A curved or straight clip on a 2006 P nickel instantly makes it stand out from ordinary coins, especially when combined with other unusual features. Some collectors dream about discovering a 2006 P nickel struck on the wrong metal planchet entirely. Imagine a nickel accidentally struck on a dime blank, cent blank, or even a foreign coin planchet. Such wrong planchet errors are among the rarest and most expensive mistakes in numismatics because they reveal major failures within the mint's quality control systems. A nickel struck on a copper cent planchet would appear smaller, lighter, and display unusual coloring, while one struck on a dime planchet would look tiny and incomplete. These mistakes are incredibly scarce because mint workers carefully monitor planchet supplies, making accidental cross-denomination strikes almost impossible. Yet every so often, one slips through, and when it does, collectors lose their minds trying to obtain it. Another feature that could make a 2006 P nickel extraordinarily valuable is the famous full steps designation. On the reverse of Jefferson Nickels, the Monticello building displays a staircase, and coins with fully visible uninterrupted steps are highly prized because they indicate an exceptionally strong strike and outstanding preservation. A perfect full steps 2006 P nickel in mint state condition graded by professional services could command serious attention from collectors, especially if paired with rare errors. Condition is one of the biggest factors in determining value. Most coins enter circulation immediately and suffer scratches, dents, fading, and wear over time, but a perfectly preserved example stored carefully from the moment of release can remain virtually flawless for decades. Professional grading companies assign numerical grades, and coins graded MS67, MS68, or higher become exponentially rarer and more valuable. If a one-of-a-kind 2006 P error nickel were discovered in pristine condition, bidding wars among elite collectors could push prices to astonishing heights. Some enthusiasts speculate that the mythical $90 million valuation comes not from a single known sale but from the theoretical value of an undiscovered specimen possessing multiple impossible characteristics all at once. In the coin world, stories and legends often grow larger over time, especially when rumors circulate about hidden treasures still waiting to be found in circulation. People begin searching through rolls of nickels from banks, coin jars inherited from relatives, and forgotten collections stored in attics hoping to uncover that one magical coin capable of changing their lives forever. Another error often discussed among collectors is the die crack, where the coin die begins to fracture after repeated use under intense pressure. Coins struck from cracked dies may display raised lines running across the surface, sometimes creating dramatic lightning-like patterns. As the crack worsens, pieces of the die can break away entirely, producing cut errors that leave large raised blobs of metal on the finished coin. These unusual formations fascinate collectors because they capture the physical deterioration of the minting equipment itself. Lamination errors are another possibility connected to valuable nickels. These occur when impurities or defects exist within the metal planchet before striking, causing parts of the surface to peel, crack, or flake away. Such imperfections create strange textures and appearances that make the coin unique. Rotated die errors are also highly collectible. Normally, the front and back designs align perfectly, but if one die rotates out of position, the coin may display an unusual orientation when flipped. Strong rotations can command significant premiums, especially on modern coins where quality control standards are extremely high. Some collectors believe that hidden transitional errors may also exist among 2006 P nickels. Transitional errors occur when leftover materials, designs, or components from previous years accidentally become mixed into newer production runs. While no confirmed $90 million specimen has publicly surfaced, the mere possibility keeps the legend alive and motivates collectors to continue searching every day. There are even theories that experimental planchets or prototype metals intended for testing may have accidentally entered circulation during production. If such a coin were authenticated, it could become one of the most important modern mint errors ever discovered. Coin collecting is filled with stories of ordinary people making incredible discoveries by paying attention to tiny details others overlook. A child sorting pocket change, a cashier examining coins after work, or a collector searching bank rolls late at night could unknowingly stumble upon a fortune hidden in plain sight. The excitement of the hunt is what keeps the hobby alive. Every coin carries the possibility of surprise, mystery, and history. The 2006 P nickel may seem too modern to become legendary, but history proves that modern-era coins can achieve incredible fame and value when rarity, condition, and collector demand align perfectly. Some collectors spend years studying minting processes just to understand how these mistakes occur. During production, giant presses strike coins with enormous force at incredible speeds, meaning even a tiny malfunction can create dramatic results. A misaligned die, foreign object, defective planchet, or mechanical failure lasting only seconds can produce rare coins that survive unnoticed for years. The Philadelphia Mint has produced billions of coins throughout its history, so the idea that a few extraordinary errors escape detection is not impossible. Stories about million-dollar coins capture public imagination because they combine history, mystery, luck, and the dream of instant wealth. Even though a $90 million nickel sounds unbelievable, collectors understand that truly unique items can become priceless. Next 2012 P 5-cent coin. Today we are exploring one of the most mysterious and unbelievable stories in the world of modern American coin collecting, the legendary 2012 P 5-cent USA coin that some collectors and rare coin enthusiasts believe could be worth an astonishing $87 million because of its rare errors, impossible minting mistakes, unusual production flaws, hidden varieties, and mysterious characteristics that have fascinated collectors across the world. At first glance, the 2012 P Jefferson nickel looks completely ordinary, just another small 5-cent coin that people spend every day without thinking twice, but hidden among billions of common nickels may exist a few extraordinary examples with rare minting accidents so unusual that they could transform an everyday coin into one of the most valuable modern treasures ever discovered. This is why experienced collectors examine every detail carefully, because history has proven that some of the most valuable coins on Earth started out as simple pocket change ignored by almost everyone. The story surrounding the 2012 P nickel continues growing every year as more collectors discover strange varieties, dramatic errors, and unexplained minting anomalies that suggest certain examples may be far rarer than anyone originally imagined. Some collectors believe a perfect storm of mint mistakes combined on a single coin could create a one-of-a-kind specimen valuable enough to attract the attention of elite investors, museums, and wealthy collectors willing to pay unimaginable amounts for ownership. The Philadelphia Mint produced millions upon millions of nickels in 2012, but whenever coins are struck at extremely high speeds under enormous pressure, mistakes can happen in ways that still surprise even veteran numismatists. Tiny mechanical failures lasting only seconds can create legendary rarities that survive unnoticed for years before finally being discovered by someone paying close attention. One of the most famous possibilities connected to the 2012 P nickel is the double die error. This occurs when the die used to strike coins receives a slightly misaligned impression during production, causing parts of the design to appear doubled on every coin struck from that defective die. Collectors search carefully for doubling in Jefferson's portrait, the word liberty, the date, in God we trust, and the Monticello building on the reverse. Strong visible doubling is highly collectible because it represents a genuine production error created before the coin itself was even minted. If an extremely dramatic double die 2012 P nickel were discovered in flawless condition, collectors believe it could become one of the most famous modern nickels ever known. Another incredible possibility is the off-center strike error. During the striking process, blank planchets must align perfectly inside the collar before the dies strike with tremendous force. If the blank shifts out of place, the design may appear dramatically off-center, leaving part of the coin blank while the remaining image becomes compressed to one side. Off-center coins are visually striking and highly desirable, especially when the date and mint mark remain visible. Imagine finding a 2012 P nickel with a dramatic 70% off-center strike while still showing the full date and Jefferson portrait. Such a coin would instantly attract enormous attention from error collectors across the globe. Broad strike errors are another major possibility. These happen when the retaining collar malfunctions or disappears during striking, allowing the metal to spread outward unnaturally. The result is a coin wider than normal with distorted or missing rims. Broad strikes fascinate collectors because they clearly reveal the raw force of the minting press and the chaos that can happen when machinery fails. Some of the most valuable modern error coins combine broad strikes with additional mistakes, creating spectacular one-of-a-kind pieces impossible to duplicate. The 2012 P nickel has also become associated with rumors of wrong planchet errors. A wrong planchet error occurs when a coin is accidentally struck on a blank intended for another denomination or foreign currency. Imagine a Jefferson nickel struck on a copper cent planchet, a dime blank, or even a foreign metal disc. Such mistakes are extremely rare because mint quality control systems are designed to prevent cross-denomination contamination, but history proves that impossible errors occasionally escape into circulation. A nickel struck on a cent planchet would appear smaller, lighter, and copper-colored, while one struck on a dime blank would show incomplete designs because the blank would be too small for the dies. If a unique 2012 P nickel surface struck on an experimental or incorrect metal composition, collectors believe its value could soar into unbelievable territory. Many experts think the mythical $87 million valuation comes from speculation about an undiscovered specimen containing multiple extraordinary features all at once. For example, imagine a coin with a dramatic doubled die, struck off-center, on the wrong planchet, with a rotated reverse, and preserved in flawless mint condition. Such a coin would likely be unique in the entire history of Jefferson Nickels. In numismatics, uniqueness is everything. The fewer examples known, the more collectors compete for ownership. Some of the world's most expensive coins became legendary simply because only one or two specimens existed. The 2012 P nickel also attracts attention because of the possibility of full steps examples. On the reverse side of Jefferson Nickels, the Monticello building includes a staircase with several visible steps. Coins displaying fully separated uninterrupted steps are given the prestigious full steps designation by grading companies. Achieving full steps is difficult because even slight weakness during striking can blur these details. A flawless 2012 P full steps nickel graded at the highest levels such as MS68 or MS69 could already command impressive premiums, but if combined with dramatic minting errors, its desirability would become almost unimaginable. Professional grading plays a huge role in coin value. Most coins enter circulation immediately after leaving the mint and quickly suffer scratches, dents, wear, stains, and damage. Perfectly preserved coins are extremely rare because they must avoid contact with other coins and harsh environments for years. Collectors use magnification, protective holders, and climate-controlled storage to preserve condition. When grading services certify a coin as near perfect, collectors become willing to pay enormous prices because condition rarity is just as important as the error itself. Some collectors believe secret transitional errors may exist among 2012 nickels. Transitional errors occur when leftover materials, dyes, or designs from previous production runs accidentally mix with newer coinage. Although no confirmed examples have reached the mythical $87 million level, rumors and speculation continue fueling excitement among collectors. Some enthusiasts even believe experimental alloys or prototype planchets intended for testing may have accidentally entered regular production. If such a coin were authenticated by experts, it could instantly become one of the most important modern mint errors ever discovered. Another highly collectible possibility involves die cracks and cut errors. Coin dies endure incredible pressure during production, and over time microscopic fractures can form. These cracks transfer onto coins as raised lines or unusual shapes. If part of the die breaks away completely, a cut error forms, leaving a raised blob of metal on the coin. Large dramatic cut errors are especially popular because they visually capture the physical destruction of the die itself. Some collectors obsessively search through rolls of nickels hoping to discover unusual die cracks on modern Jefferson nickels before anyone else notices them. Lamination errors also contribute to the mystery surrounding valuable nickels. These happen when impurities or structural weaknesses exist inside the metal blank before striking. During or after striking, layers of metal may peel, split, or flake away, creating strange textures and patterns. Lamination errors make each coin visually unique and often indicate serious issues during metal preparation at the mint. Another fascinating mistake is the rotated die error. Normally the front and back of a coin align perfectly, but if one die rotates out of position during production, the reverse may appear sideways or upside down when the coin is flipped. Strong rotated dies are extremely collectible because they demonstrate a major failure in the striking setup. The greater the rotation, the greater the excitement among collectors. There are also rumors of double strikes involving the 2012 P nickel. Double strikes happen when a coin fails to eject properly after the first strike and receives a second impression from the dies. The result can be overlapping designs, distorted images, and dramatic visual effects unlike anything seen on normal coins. Multi-struck nickels are especially valuable when the second strike occurs off-center or after the coin shifts position between strikes. Some collectors dream of finding a 2012 P nickel showing clear evidence of multiple strikes combined with other rare features. The idea of a modern 5-cent coin reaching a value of $87 million may sound impossible to ordinary people, but rare coin markets often operate on rarity, demand, historical significance, and uniqueness rather than metal value alone. A nickel contains only a small amount of metal, yet, next 1987 P 5-cent coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most shocking and mysterious stories in the world of rare American coin collecting, the unbelievable tale of the 1987 P 5-cent USA coin that some collectors believe could be worth an incredible $84 million because of rare minting errors, hidden varieties, mysterious production mistakes, and once-in-a-lifetime characteristics that may exist on only a tiny number of surviving coins. Most people never think twice about a nickel because it seems ordinary, common, and almost worthless in everyday life, but experienced collectors understand that even the smallest coin can become a legendary treasure when unusual minting accidents transform it into something unique. Across the world, collectors search through jars of old change, inherited collections, bank rolls, flea market boxes, and forgotten drawers hoping to discover one extraordinary coin capable of changing their lives forever. The 1987 P Jefferson nickel has become one of those mysterious coins surrounded by rumors, theories, collector excitement, and unbelievable possibilities because some experts believe a few examples may contain combinations of errors so rare that they could become priceless artifacts of modern minting history. The Philadelphia Mint produced millions of Jefferson nickels during 1987, and most entered circulation immediately where they became scratched, worn, and damaged through everyday use. But somewhere among those countless ordinary nickels, collectors believe there may exist a handful of spectacular error coins that escaped the mint with dramatic flaws created during production. These flaws are not considered damage because they happened during the actual minting process itself, making them legitimate mint errors highly sought after by collectors worldwide. One of the most talked about possibilities involving the 1987 P nickel is the legendary double die error. A double die occurs when the die used to strike coins receives multiple impressions during manufacturing that fail to align correctly. As a result, coins struck from that defective die display visible doubling in parts of the design. Collectors search carefully for doubling in Jefferson's face, the date, Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the Monticello building on the reverse. Strong doubling is highly valuable because it represents a genuine production mistake originating at the die level rather than post-mint damage. Some collectors believe an undiscovered dramatic double die 1987 P nickel may still exist hidden in circulation or tucked away in an old collection waiting to shock the numismatic world. Another major source of excitement comes from the possibility of off-center strikes. During the striking process, planchets must sit perfectly aligned inside the collar before the dies strike with enormous force. If the blank shifts out of position, the design may appear partially missing while the remaining image is compressed toward one side. Off-center errors are instantly recognizable and highly collectible, especially when the date and mint mark remain visible. Imagine discovering a 1987 P nickel struck 50 or 60% off-center while still clearly showing the year and Jefferson portrait. Such a coin would immediately attract huge interest from collectors because dramatic visual errors are among the most desirable in the hobby. Broad strike errors also contribute to the legendary reputation of rare 1987 P nickels. Broad strikes occur when the retaining collar malfunctions or fails during striking, allowing the metal to spread outward unnaturally. These coins appear wider and flatter than normal nickels with distorted or missing rims. Broad strikes fascinate collectors because they reveal the immense force used during coin production and the chaos that can happen when machinery fails even briefly. Some of the most valuable modern error coins combine broad strikes with additional mistakes such as double strikes or die rotations, creating truly one-of-a-kind pieces. Wrong planchet errors are another possibility that keeps collectors endlessly searching through old nickels. A wrong planchet error happens when a coin is accidentally struck on a blank intended for another denomination or even a foreign coin. Imagine a 1987 P Jefferson nickel struck on a copper penny blank, a dime planchet, or a foreign metal disc. Such errors are incredibly rare because mint quality control systems are designed to prevent cross-contamination between different blanks, but history has proven that mistakes occasionally escape detection. A nickel struck on a cent planchet would appear copper-colored and smaller than normal, while one struck on a dime blank would display incomplete designs due to the reduced size of the blank. If a unique 1987 P nickel were discovered struck on an experimental or transitional planchet, collectors believe its value could reach unbelievable heights. The legendary $84 million valuation often associated with this coin is believed by some enthusiasts to represent the theoretical value of a one-of-a-kind specimen combining several impossible characteristics into one extraordinary piece. For example, imagine a flawless mint state 1987 P nickel displaying a dramatic doubled die, struck off-center, on the wrong metal planchet, with a rotated reverse and pristine full steps detail on Monticello. A coin with such a combination would likely be unique in the entire history of Jefferson Nickels, and uniqueness is the most powerful factor in determining value within the rare coin market. Collectors compete fiercely for items nobody else can own, and when wealthy buyers battle for ownership of a famous rarity, prices can climb into unimaginable territory. The full steps designation is another reason the 1987 P nickel attracts attention. On the reverse side of Jefferson Nickels, the Monticello building features several small steps at the base. Coins displaying fully visible uninterrupted steps receive the prized full steps designation from professional grading companies. Achieving this designation is difficult because even slight weakness during striking can blur the details. High-grade full steps nickels are highly desirable, especially from years where sharp strikes are uncommon. A flawless 1987 P full steps nickel graded MS68 or higher would already be considered rare, but if paired with dramatic minting errors, its value could become extraordinary. Condition is one of the most important factors affecting coin values. Most coins quickly develop scratches, dents, and wear after entering circulation, making perfectly preserved examples extremely rare. Collectors store valuable coins in protective holders and controlled environments to prevent damage. Professional grading services examine coins under magnification and assign numerical grades based on preservation quality. The difference between MS65 and MS68 may appear tiny to ordinary people, but among collectors it can represent thousands or even millions of dollars in value when dealing with rare specimens. Some collectors believe hidden transitional errors may exist among 1987 nickels. Transitional errors occur when leftover materials, dyes, or production components from previous years accidentally mix into newer production runs. Rumors about possible experimental planchets or unauthorized test metals used during production continue fueling speculation surrounding the 1987 P nickel. If a coin struck on an unusual alloy or prototype composition were ever authenticated, it could instantly become one of the most important modern mint errors ever discovered. Another highly collectible possibility involves die cracks and cut errors. Coin dies endure tremendous pressure during use, and over time microscopic fractures can develop. These cracks transfer onto struck coins as raised lines or irregular shapes. If a piece of the die breaks away entirely, the resulting coins display raised blobs known as cut errors. Large cut errors are especially desirable because they dramatically show the deterioration and destruction of the die itself. Collectors love studying die states because they reveal the physical wear and aging process of minting equipment. Lamination errors also contribute to the fascination surrounding rare nickels. These occur when impurities or structural weaknesses exist within the metal planchet before striking. During or after striking, layers of metal may peel, crack, or separate from the surface, creating strange textures and appearances. Lamination errors make each coin visually unique and indicate serious flaws during metal preparation. Another exciting possibility is the rotated die error. Normally, the front and back designs align perfectly, but if one die rotates out of position during setup or production, the reverse design may appear sideways or upside down when the coin is flipped. Strong rotated dies are extremely collectible because they demonstrate major mechanical failures during minting. The greater the rotation, the more valuable the error often becomes. Some collectors also speculate about double strike and multi-strike errors involving the 1987 P nickel. These happen when a coin fails to eject properly after the first strike and receives additional impressions from the dies. The result can be overlapping images, distorted designs, and spectacular visual effects unlike anything seen on ordinary coins. Multi-struck nickels become especially valuable when the coin shifts position between strikes or when later strikes occur off-center. The idea of a 5-cent coin being worth $84 million may sound unbelievable to people unfamiliar with numismatics, but collectors understand that rare coin values are driven by rarity, uniqueness, demand, historical significance, and collect. Next, 1997 D 5-cent coin. Today we are uncovering the unbelievable mystery surrounding one of the most talked about modern Jefferson Nickels in American coin collecting history, the legendary 1997 D 5-cent USA coin that some collectors believe could be worth an astonishing $80 million because of rare errors, impossible minting mistakes, secret varieties, production flaws, and mysterious characteristics that continue to fascinate collectors around the world. Most people see a nickel as nothing more than spare change, something tossed into a drawer, dropped into a vending machine, or forgotten at the bottom of a pocket, but experienced collectors understand that hidden among ordinary coins can exist extraordinary rarities capable of changing someone's life forever. The 1997 D Jefferson nickel may look common at first glance, but rumors and theories surrounding certain error examples have turned this coin into one of the most exciting treasures in modern numismatics. Coin collectors know that the smallest differences can create enormous value, and when rare mistakes combine on a single coin, the result can become legendary. Across the world, collectors search endlessly through old jars, bank rolls, estate collections, flea market boxes, inherited albums, and forgotten coin containers hoping to discover one extraordinary specimen that escaped the mint with unique flaws nobody else noticed. The Denver Mint struck millions of nickels in 1997, but the minting process involves enormous pressure, complex machinery, metal preparation, die production, and constant movement, meaning even a brief malfunction can create a remarkable coin unlike anything else produced that year. Some experts believe the mythical $80 million value associated with the 1997 D nickel comes from the possibility that a one-of-a-kind specimen exists somewhere with multiple dramatic errors all combined together. A coin with several major minting mistakes preserved in perfect condition could become one of the most valuable modern coins ever discovered. One of the most famous possibilities involving the 1997 D nickel is the double die error. This occurs when the coin die itself receives multiple impressions during manufacturing that fail to align correctly. Coins struck from that die display visible doubling in parts of the design. Collectors search carefully for doubling on Jefferson's portrait, the date, Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and details on Monticello. Strong double die errors are highly desirable because they represent genuine mistakes created during die preparation rather than post-mint damage. Some collectors believe undiscovered double die varieties from 1997 may still exist unnoticed inside circulation because millions of coins were never examined carefully. A dramatic double die 1997 D nickel with strong visible separation could attract enormous collector demand, especially if graded in near-perfect condition. Another exciting possibility is the off-center strike error. During production, blank planchets must align perfectly before the dies strike with tremendous force. If a planchet shifts out of position, the design becomes partially missing while the remaining image is compressed toward one side of the coin. Off-center errors are among the most visually dramatic mistakes because they are instantly recognizable even to non-collectors. A 1997 D nickel struck far off-center while still displaying the full date and mint mark would be especially valuable because collectors prefer examples where the important identifying details remain visible. Some collectors dream about discovering a massive off-center 1997 D nickel with additional errors layered on top, creating a spectacular one-of-a-kind piece. Broad strike errors also contribute to the mystery surrounding valuable Jefferson nickels. Broad strikes occur when the retaining collar malfunctions or fails during striking, allowing the metal to spread outward beyond normal boundaries. These coins appear wider, flatter, and often lack proper rims. Broad strikes reveal the tremendous pressure involved in the minting process and show what happens when machinery briefly loses control. A broad-struck 1997 D nickel in flawless mint state condition would already attract strong interest, but if paired with other errors such as die cracks or double strikes, the value could rise dramatically. Another incredible possibility involves wrong planchet errors. Wrong planchet errors occur when a coin is accidentally struck on a blank intended for another denomination or foreign coinage. Imagine a 1997 D nickel struck on a copper cent planchet, a dime blank, or an experimental metal disc. Such mistakes are extremely rare because the mint uses strict quality control systems to separate different blanks, but history proves that impossible errors occasionally escape detection. A nickel struck on a cent planchet would appear copper-colored and lightweight, while one struck on a dime blank would show incomplete designs due to the smaller size of the blank. Collectors become obsessed with wrong planchet errors because they represent major failures within the minting process itself. If a unique 1997 D nickel were discovered on an unusual or prototype planchet, collectors believe it could instantly become one of the most famous nickels ever known. The legendary $80 million valuation often discussed among enthusiasts likely represents a theoretical scenario involving a perfect storm of impossible minting accidents combined into one coin. Imagine a 1997 D nickel with a dramatic double die obverse, struck off-center on the wrong metal planchet, featuring a rotated reverse, multiple strikes, and flawless full steps details preserved in perfect mint condition. Such a coin would likely be unique in the entire history of Jefferson Nickels, and uniqueness is the most powerful force in determining rare coin values. Wealthy collectors compete fiercely for one-of-a-kind treasures because ownership represents exclusivity, prestige, and historical importance. The full steps designation is another reason certain 1997 D nickels command intense attention. On the reverse side of Jefferson Nickels, the Monticello building includes several small steps at its base. Coins displaying fully separated uninterrupted steps are awarded the prestigious full steps designation by grading services. This feature indicates an exceptionally strong strike because weakly struck coins often lose step detail. High-grade full steps nickels from certain years can already be very valuable, especially when combined with low populations and excellent preservation. A 1997 D full steps nickel graded MS68 or higher would be considered extremely desirable, and if paired with dramatic minting errors, collectors believe the value could reach unbelievable levels. Professional grading plays a huge role in determining coin prices. Most coins enter circulation immediately after leaving the mint, where they quickly develop scratches, dents, fading, and wear from everyday use. Perfectly preserved coins are incredibly rare because they must avoid damage for decades. Grading companies carefully examine coins under magnification and assign numerical grades based on preservation quality. Tiny differences invisible to ordinary people can separate an ordinary coin from a $1 million rarity. Some collectors believe hidden transitional errors may exist among 1997 nickels. Transitional errors occur when leftover materials, dyes, or design elements from previous years accidentally mix into newer production runs. Rumors continue circulating about experimental alloys, prototype planchets, or unauthorized test pieces that may have entered circulation unnoticed. If a 1997 D nickel struck on a mysterious or undocumented alloy were ever authenticated, it could become one of the most important modern era coins ever discovered. Another fascinating possibility involves die cracks and cut errors. Coin dies endure tremendous pressure during production, and over time microscopic fractures can form within the steel. These cracks transfer onto coins as raised lines or unusual shapes. When pieces of the die break away entirely, the resulting coins display raised blobs known as cut errors. Large cut errors are highly collectible because they dramatically show the physical destruction of the die itself. Some collectors specialize entirely in studying die states and crack progressions because each stage reveals how the minting equipment deteriorated over time. Lamination errors are another reason collectors carefully inspect nickels from the late 1990s. These errors occur when impurities or structural weaknesses exist inside the planchet before striking. Layers of metal may peel, crack, or separate from the surface, creating strange textures and appearances. Lamination errors make each coin visually unique and indicate problems during metal preparation. Another exciting error possibility involves rotated dies. Normally, the front and back of a coin align correctly when flipped, but if one die rotates out of position, the reverse design may appear sideways or upside down. Strong rotated die errors are highly desirable because they demonstrate significant mechanical failure during production. The more dramatic the rotation, the more collectors compete to own the coin. Some collectors also speculate about double strike and multiple strike errors involving the 1997 D nickel. These happen when a coin fails to eject correctly after the first strike and receives additional impressions from the dies. The resulting coin may show overlapping images, distorted features, and unusual shapes unlike any last 2015 P5-cent coin. Today we are exploring one of the most unbelievable modern coin mysteries ever discussed among collectors, the incredible story of the 2015 P5-cent USA coin that some collectors believe could be worth an astonishing $77 million because of rare minting errors, impossible production mistakes, hidden varieties, unusual strike characteristics, and extraordinary possibilities that continue to fascinate the coin collecting world. To most people, a nickel is just another ordinary coin sitting unnoticed in pockets, jars, couch cushions, and cash registers, but experienced collectors understand that some of the most valuable treasures in American numismatic history began as simple pocket change ignored by almost everyone. The 2015 P Jefferson nickel has become the center of attention among many collectors because rumors of dramatic minting errors and mysterious varieties have transformed this modern 5-cent coin into a symbol of hidden treasure and unimaginable value. Across the world, collectors spend countless hours searching through bank rolls, inherited collections, flea market boxes, estate sales, and old containers of spare change hoping to uncover one rare specimen capable of changing their lives forever. The Philadelphia Mint produced millions of Jefferson nickels during 2015, and although most were perfectly normal coins intended for circulation, collectors believe a few extraordinary examples may have escaped the mint with rare combinations of errors that make them unlike anything else ever created. Modern coin production involves powerful machinery operating at extremely high speeds under enormous pressure, and even with advanced quality control systems, mistakes can still happen. Sometimes those mistakes produce coins so unusual and so rare that they become legendary. One of the most exciting possibilities involving the 2015 P nickel is the famous double die error. This type of error occurs during die creation when the design receives more than one impression at slightly different angles, causing parts of the final coin design to appear doubled. Collectors carefully inspect Jefferson's portrait, the date, Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the Monticello building looking for signs of separation, shadowing, or doubled lettering. Strong double die errors are highly valuable because they originate from the die itself, meaning every coin struck from that defective die carries the same unusual characteristics. Some collectors believe undiscovered double die varieties from 2015 may still be circulating unnoticed because millions of nickels have never been carefully examined. A dramatic double die 2015 P nickel in flawless condition could instantly become one of the most famous modern nickels ever discovered. Another fascinating possibility is the off-center strike error. During the striking process, planchets must align perfectly before the dies strike with immense force. If a planchet shifts even slightly, the design can become dramatically off-center, leaving part of the coin blank while compressing the remaining design into one side. Off-center errors are among the most visually dramatic mistakes in coin collecting because they are obvious even to people with no numismatic experience. Collectors especially value off-center coins that still display the full date and mint mark because those details confirm the identity of the coin while preserving the spectacular appearance of the error. Imagine discovering a 2015 P nickel struck 60% off-center while still clearly showing Jefferson's face and the date. Such a coin would attract intense interest from collectors around the world. Broad strike errors also contribute to the legendary reputation of rare Jefferson nickels. Broad strikes occur when the retaining collar that normally shapes the coin fails during striking, allowing the metal to spread outward beyond normal boundaries. These coins appear wider and flatter than ordinary nickels and often lack properly formed rims. Broad strikes reveal the immense pressure involved in the minting process and provide collectors with visible evidence of mechanical failure inside the mint itself. A broad-struck 2015 P nickel in pristine mint condition would already command strong collector attention, but if paired with other rare errors such as doubling or multiple strikes, its value could become extraordinary. Wrong planchet errors are another reason collectors obsessively search through modern nickels. A wrong planchet error occurs when a coin is accidentally struck on a blank intended for another denomination or foreign coin. Imagine a 2015 P nickel struck on a copper cent planchet, a dime blank, or an experimental metal composition never intended for circulation. Such mistakes are incredibly rare because the mint uses strict systems to separate different blanks during production, but history has shown that even impossible-looking errors occasionally escape detection. A nickel struck on a cent planchet would appear smaller and copper-colored, while one struck on a dime blank would display incomplete designs because the blank would be too small for the dies. Collectors become fascinated by wrong planchet errors because they represent major failures in mint organization and quality control. If a unique 2015 P nickel were discovered on an experimental alloy or prototype planchet, it could instantly become one of the most important modern error coins ever known. The legendary $77 million valuation often associated with the 2015 P nickel likely represents a theoretical value tied to an impossible combination of errors and perfect preservation. Collectors imagine a one-of-a-kind specimen featuring dramatic double dies, a severe off-center strike, a wrong metal composition, rotated dies, multiple strikes, flawless full steps detail, and pristine mint state condition all combined into one coin. A specimen like that would probably be unique in the entire history of Jefferson Nickels, and uniqueness is one of the strongest forces driving value in the rare coin market. Wealthy collectors compete aggressively for coins that nobody else can own, and when rarity, publicity, condition, and historical significance combine, prices can rise far beyond ordinary expectations. The full steps designation is another major reason certain 2015 P nickels attract enormous collector interest. On the reverse side of Jefferson Nickels, the Monticello building includes several small steps beneath the structure. Coins showing fully separated uninterrupted steps are awarded the prestigious full steps designation by grading companies. This designation indicates an exceptionally strong strike because even slight weakness during production can blur the step details. High-grade full steps nickels from modern years are already considered desirable, but if combined with major minting errors, the value can increase dramatically. A 2015 P full steps nickel graded MS68 or higher would already be extremely difficult to find, and if paired with dramatic errors, collectors believe such a coin could achieve legendary status. Professional grading is extremely important in determining coin values. Most coins enter circulation immediately after leaving the mint and quickly develop scratches, wear, fading, and contact marks from everyday use. Perfectly preserved examples are incredibly rare because they must survive for years without damage. Grading companies carefully inspect coins under magnification and assign numerical grades based on strike quality, preservation, luster, and surface condition. Tiny differences invisible to ordinary people can separate a common nickel from a multimillion-dollar rarity. Some collectors believe hidden transitional errors may exist among 2015 nickels. Transitional errors occur when leftover dies, materials, or production components from previous years accidentally become mixed into newer production runs. Rumors continue circulating about prototype alloys, experimental planchets, or undocumented test pieces possibly entering circulation unnoticed. If a 2015 P nickel struck on an unusual or undocumented alloy were ever authenticated, it could instantly become one of the most famous modern error coins in American history. Another fascinating category of errors involves die cracks and cut errors. Coin dies endure tremendous pressure during production, and over time they begin developing microscopic fractures. These cracks transfer onto coins as raised lines or irregular patterns. If part of the die breaks away completely, the resulting coins display large raised blobs called cut errors. Large cut errors are especially popular because they dramatically reveal the physical destruction of the die itself. Some collectors specialize entirely in studying die cracks and die states because they provide insight into how mint equipment deteriorated during production. Lamination errors are another reason collectors inspect Jefferson Nickels carefully. Lamination errors occur when impurities or structural weaknesses exist inside the metal blank before striking. Layers of metal may peel, split, or separate from the coin's surface, creating unusual textures and appearances. Lamination errors make each coin visually unique and indicate problems during the metal preparation process. Another exciting possibility involves rotated die errors. Normally, the front and back of a coin align correctly when flipped, but if one die rotates out of position, the reverse may appear sideways or upside down. Strong rotated die errors are highly collectible because they demonstrate serious mechanical failures during setup or production. The more dramatic the rotation, the more valuable the coin often becomes. Some collectors also specialize